It's Hot937, hot937.com. Buck and Reg in the morning out here in Connecticut, man. Make sure you download that Odyssey app. You're going to miss things like this. Right now, I'm going to call my man a legend, man. I'm going to call my man a legend right there. 30 years he's been in this game. Probably more. He's just putting on paper 30 years. Rodney Jerkins, man. Rodney, how you feel, man? What's going on?
Man, I feel so good, man. Blessed. I'm happy to be here with y'all. You know what I mean? Just excited, man. This year's looking so bright already. So
Right,
looking
I
for
got.
what's next.
Yeah, looking for what's next. You've done it all, though. You've done everything. I mean, you work with everybody. You're still looking for that next thing. What do you think the next thing is for Rodney Jerkins?
Oh man, it's funny because I'll tell you a funny story, man. In '99, I started working with Michael Jackson, and I finished working with Michael Jackson. I worked with him, and then I worked with Brandy on Full Moon simultaneously. So I was doing started with Michael, then a year after working with Michael, then Brandy came, and I was working literally 4 rooms with Michael, 1 room, 2 rooms with Brandy. It was crazy, right? And but when I finished working on Brandy and Michael, I remember going to my home and I was like, there's nothing left, for me to do. Seriously, I really this is facts. Like I really felt like I did exactly what I was set out to do because
How
when
old, Rodney? How old was you when that happened? How
I
old was you when
started
you worked with
I started working with Michael at 21.
at 21?
I started working with Michael at 21. So, but you got to look from the year from 17 years old to 21. I had did Mary J. Blige, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Tony Braxton, Brandy, Monica, um, Jennifer Lopez. I just did Mary J. Blige. I did so much in such a it was like high school. It was like leaving high school and going to college, right? Those 4 years, those
Well,
four
that sounds like going to the pros.
yeah, those 4 years straight
From
out of
high
high
school
school
to
to
the
the pros.
pros.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when I finished working with Michael, my goal was always as a kid, as a 12, 13-year-old kid that wanted to be a producer, my goal was to work with Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson. That was that was it for me. Like I knew it was I knew there was a lot of artists I wanted to work with, but the goal was like, yo, if I could work with the best female artist and the best male artist, and then I hit that early, right? So I'm coming off of that, and I'm just like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go to Florida. I'm going to chill out and not do this no more. I'm like, there's nothing left for me to do. And then I was like, I'm gonna just do some film stuff, and I did. Like, I literally transitioned and started working on like some movie stuff. And then I got a call one day from Beyonce, and she was like, "Yo, I need you to work with me on this project." This couple of years, 4 years later down the road. So now I'm like, thought to myself, I'm like, hold up, there's always something else you could do. You could always be greater the next
I
day.
like
There's
that.
always another artist that you can work with. There's always something else you could discover. There's
I like
always,
that.
and if you're just content in what you've done, then you will never know what can happen for you in the future.
Yeah.
Well, and I woke up. I'm gonna be honest, I woke up, and that was the moment. And next thing you know, I found myself now having a career, right? That was far more than just what I had did in that 4 years. Now I had Beyonce, I had Lady Gaga, I had so much Sam Smith, SZA, her, all these other artists. And so, if you would have told me, in 1995 that I would have been working with SZA in 2020, I wouldn't have
Not many
told I
people. Yeah.
on that.
Not
You know
many
what I'm
people
saying?
can do that. Not many people can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I won my first Grammy in '99 for "Say My Name" with Destiny's Child. Then I won another Grammy in 2015 for Sam Smith "Stay With Me." So you're talking about like that's literally six. What is that? Six. What is that? Like 16 years later?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've learned from that. I've learned that you just got to keep working and you got to keep going and you got to look ahead and you got to think about the things that you can discover,
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I'm always looking for the next thing, bro. I'm always like, okay, what's going to, I'm always, my chops is always going to be tight because
Yeah.
constantly, I'm shooting my J every day. I'm getting my 1,000 shots in every single day.
Every day.
So it's always going to be there, but I also need to be inspired by the right artist. You feel me?
Yeah, you're
So,
right.
so just like somebody will call me and be like, "Yo, there's this new artist on Def Jam, yo, they dope. You should check it out." And then I hear that, be like, "Yeah, it's cool, but it's not moving me. It's not making me feel like I don't feel like I can do anything to make it that much greater than what it is." So I'm a pass on that.
Right.
But then it might be another artist where I'm like, "Yo, I got to get in with this artist, right?" And then it becomes that thing again where it's like, oh, I know what this is going to be in 2027.
See it.
So,
Yeah.
so let me dig into this now in 2025. Keep working with it because I know what this is because my ears tuned for that now.
Yeah.
You
Now
know?
you've worked with pretty much every big artist, and like you said, you're always looking for the next thing. Like if there's a new artist on Def Jam or a new artist on Sony or so on and so on. There's a new time now where there's artists out here who making noise, but they're not signed to a label. How open are you to working with artists that's on the internet that's making noise? They're probably not signed, probably real rough around the edges as most of them are, and you being at the level you are and as accomplished as you are, how open are you to working with artists like that?
We're always open. Yeah, I mean, I think that's how you get it, right? I think like if you really think about it, right? All superstar artists but new artists.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I did Say My Name, Destiny Child, they're a new artist.
Right.
If You Had My Love, J-Lo, she's a new artist. nobody knew what that was. You know what I'm saying? So like this,
with an unsigned one though, like a raw internet artist who probably don't know what they have.
100%. Because if they have something that might be dope, then I want to be at least me, I want to feel like I'm the first one that got to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw it before anyone, so I'm always like looking at things, and seeing if it's something that makes me move a certain kind of way, makes me feel a certain kind of way. I'm always looking at it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, history is amazing and everything, but I don't want to miss anything because I want to go back and talk about everything you've done, but I want to talk about it right now. You got the gospel album, the gospel music out right now. You're in a gospel era. Your label out right now that you have. Tell me about how the label came about and how you found these.
It's funny to me that you call it gospel.
Because no, it's hip hop. Because I listened to it and I heard the boom bap. I heard the 808s and everything banging like that. And I said, no, this ain't no Donnie McCloy. This is different right here.
Yeah, yeah, this isn't Sunday morning. Get your suit on.
Nah.
This is like there's a youth movement that's happening, and it's outside of the four walls of the church, and there's a hunger and a desire for teenagers, college kids that want to have a relationship with God, and you're not going to get them by telling them they're going to hell tomorrow or preaching to them a certain kind of way. No, you got to meet them where they are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. These are people that are waking up and going to the internet excited about Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
About a battle rap winning the Grammy.
Yeah.
So we got to make music, in my opinion, that is complementary to those sonics, but that's clean and that brings people in to know who God truly is and that he can use any vessel. So that's why I'm so excited about Aliens Alive, my label that I started, because I'm like, man, there's a generation that's lost, but they're not going to be found through the traditional ways. It's not going to happen.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Regg, so you got to give them like the hip hop beats, the R&B, but with just their message.
Yeah, with the message, because the message don't change, the method does though.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
so
I'm sorry.
So we gotta meet them.
Yeah, I've been to. I don't go to church a lot, but when I go to church, like the classic on the rough side of the mountain, they're gonna sing that song, right? But then there's the teenager who may not understand. Okay, I get that, but take that same meaning and turn it into something like I need faith. Turn it into a song where they can relate to. Like, wait a minute, I believe. I may not, I know the rough side of the mountain is what it is, but I can relate to this. I need faith, because I walk like that. I talk like that every day.
Yeah, and don't forget, like from a culture standpoint, our culture, many have come up in the church.
Yeah,
Many have come up in the church, and a lot of times we sway away.
Sway away.
We sway away, and so hopefully the music that we're able to bring to the table will bring some people back and bring some new ones that never experienced God to this. You know what I mean? And that's the mission of it all. That's the mission.
You can have faith and still wear them Timberlands, Reg. You can still wear those Tims.
Listen, I'm not gonna hold you. You see Kirk Franklin now. With what Kirk Franklin out here doing, you can do anything because he's still giving you the message. But if you mute it, you don't think he's talking about what he's talking about.
That's funny. That is the truth, though. That's
from a production angle, Ronnie, are you tweaking the sounds? Because it sounds the same. I can hear the same hits. I can hear it. You haven't changed too much from a regular hip hop beat. Everything sounds the same.
I mean, why touch? What am I going to do? Am I going to add an organ on it?
Yeah.
I'm going to put some tambourine on it. You know what I'm saying? Nah. I'm going to make it where it's current, where it's relevant, and that the test for me was a couple years ago. They were working on the Madden football game, and two of my Christian hip hop artists are on this game, and on this game had Nas, Kendrick, had everybody, and then they on it, right?
Right.
And that kind of confirmed exactly what the mission. I was like, yeah, I want them to get on mainstream station. That's what Jen has been so incredible with, helping our artists get those looks, right?
Yep.
And because I believe in them and I believe in the sound, but I also believe like music wise, it stands up. Like you're gonna listen to I Need Faith, and you can listen to Burna Boy right after if you want.
Right after it.
It's gonna stand right up with it.
Ronnie, do you think a current label outside of your label, because you know how to do it? Do you think a label like Republic or Def Jam know how to push an artist like this, know how to push this sound and promote it, because they're so used to promoting everything else?
I don't worry about a label pushing it because we are the label.
Yeah.
And we know how to push it.
Mm-hmm. But there are other artists who are signed, Christian rappers that are signed to other labels, and I feel like the push is not there. Like they're
because I think like I don't think they're as aware as we are. Like no offense to those to them, but I've had my hand in this for 30 years now. And like you said, it might even be a little longer, right? And I've been to the school. I've been to the school of Teddy Riley, Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson, Barry Gordy, L.A. Reid, Tommy Mottola, Davis. I've been to those schools, and so because I've earned my degree in those different schools, I just feel like the labels that have these Christian divisions, they're not as tapped in. Because I'm coming from a producer standpoint. I'm coming from a sonic standpoint. You know what I mean? So when the sound got to have a certain quality and edge to it to make it hit and to make it compete. And so I feel like that's going to be like pretty much our difference. Not saying no other labels can't. I believe there's other labels out there that can, but I just think that we are like we have that pulse that artists are looking for, and that artists want to be with, because they know that the team that's assembled, understands the level where it needs to be at, and understands how to elevate the level. Yeah. Right. It's another thing is elevating what's already there. So if you got an artist that's doing well, and you're like, okay, well, we got to elevate this. We got to elevate the visuals. We got to elevate the things so they can be accepted.
I would love for some of your artists to come to Connecticut and jump on one of these stages.
We'll make that. Jenna, make that happen. We'll make that happen for sure.
Now, what is what is a win for you, far as uh your gospel artists? What is a win at the end of this? What do you consider? Yeah, this is a victory. I know you want to get them on mainstream radio. I know, of course, you want them to go as far as they can, but what do you look at as, yeah, we accomplished this?
No, the real win is not the real win is this is listen, man, this is not a monetary goal. This isn't an earthly goal. The real one is when the actual young kid finds Christ through these artists. When a youthful person, not even youth, old, whoever, says, man, I stumbled on, this artist and music, and it made me want to listen more and listen more. And now I found God to be real. I found my way through this. That's the goal.
That's the win.
I don't need millions of those. You know what I mean? You give me one of those testimonies and I'm jumping for joy.
Wow.
Because I know if one does it, then I know heaven's rejoicing for it too. So that's the win. And
if one do it, that means you can get more.
And we're getting those wins. We're already getting those. We're getting those stories. We're getting those stories, which is amazing.
Wow. Rodney, man, your sheet is long, man. You work with the Marys, with the Whitneys. You've been in the studios with the Marys. I'm sure you have some crazy stories with working with some of these artists. I mean, you said you're a student of Teddy Riley, and all these guys. As a young kid in those studios, a fly on the wall. Now, I always tell people, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, pay attention to everything that's going on and take notes. Take mental notes and just watch people. You may not have to ask them, how do you do this but you still learn how to do this without asking them how to do it, just by watching. Is that something that you learned as a young kid in the studios with these big names by just being around and just say, hey, that's what you do?
Yeah, it's funny because when I was like 14, 15 years old in Virginia Beach for Teddy Riley. And that's what I was doing. I was sitting in the back watching him. I was watching the master at work.
Right.
I didn't have to ask him a million questions. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have to. Me sitting there and watching him and learning the pace, the flow, what the melody, what matters, what's the most important thing to the record, how to add the sauce at the end to make it come to life. Those are all the things that I would sit there and I would just gather. So a lot of times, I have producers underneath me that will sometimes want to pick my brain and ask me a bunch of questions. And I'm like, for what? Like, you asking me questions is not going to make your skills better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to run plays. You got to run plays over and over again. That's the only way you're going to get sharp. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, imagine you on the court and you just like, yeah, LeBron, so how do you do this? So LeBron, so how do you do this? Oh, LeBron, how do you do that? That ain't going to do nothing to your game.
You ain't going to be able to do it.
You got to go out there and put that work in. You got to get up. You got to get up when everybody else is sleeping. You got to put that work in. That's the only way. When I see producers, I love finding new producers and developing them, right? But if I see a producer come into the studio after me, you already lost.
Yeah.
You didn't lose to me. You lost to everybody.
Yeah.
Because when I was your age, you couldn't get me out the studio.
You was in there with the Teddy Rileys, not after.
No.
They was in there before that.
They was leaving and I was still there.
You still there.
Anybody tell you, they'd be like, yo, Rodney never left. Like it felt like he never left. It's true. I didn't leave because the hunger for it, number one, the ambition for it was at the highest level. And so I could never see myself being great if I'm not outworking the greats. How is that possible? How can I put myself on the same level as a Teddy Riley if I'm not working as hard as him?
Yeah.
Because you know why? Because I'm broke trying to make it. He's the one pulling up the studio with the blue SL 500.
Yeah.
He's the one pulling up in his studio with all the equipment. He's the one working on Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Blackstreet, Mary J, all the people that I want to. So what am I going to do? I'm going to sit there and come in 5 hours after him?
Can't do that.
I want him to walk in and be like, "Little bro, you still here? Yo, you might want to take a shower, bro." I want him to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want, because I want to, I just believe that my dad taught me, he was like, a hard day's work deserves a hard day's pay. And the Bible teaches me that laziness and slothfulness gets you. it gets you nowhere.
Yeah.
So you best believe, like, you want to make it in anything, in any endeavor. There's not just here, but anything you want to do, you got to outwork your coworkers. You got to outwork your bosses. You gotta do that.
Ronnie, you mentioned the big names. We talk about the big names, the Michaels, the Whitneys, the Marys. But as a DJ, you had a classic that I had to play every night in the club. That Things You Do remix, change
Oh
that Things
yeah.
You Do remix, man. I had to
Things you
play
do,
Christopher Williams.
the thing, no, that's Gina Thompson. The
Gina
things
Oh,
you
Thompson.
oh yes, yes,
Gina
yes.
Thompson.
that remix got me Mary J. Blige, by the way.
Did
It
it?
was she heard that, and that's what made her
Yo,
call for me to come do come to her listening party to play music for her Share My Word album. That was the song that did it.
that song right there, Ronnie,
Mm.
that had every DJ, every club shaking back then. And me, because I try to do beats myself. So when I heard that, I said, I know what he did. I know what he did.
Shop, you know the shop.
How many tracks did you actually use to make that beat?
Not a lot. Now you
Not a
already
lot.
you got the Bob James sample. You got
But
a
there you
you got an 808 tone doom.
go.
You got a scratch.
Yep.
Right? You might got a triangle or whatever, triangle shaker hat or something like that in there. And then you got the keys, the guitar and the strings, and that's it.
And then the little spice, the little flavor that made that song what it was. Because I'm picking it apart. I'm like, nah, that wasn't a bunch of tracks, but it's the little stuff that you. Hey, Reg, you know how I think, Reg.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing.
Buck, I told my team at the beginning of this year, I came in and told all the producers here at my studio, I said 10 sounds or less. 10 sounds or less.
Mm.
Say, y'all want to be great, y'all got to know how to make something great with 10 sounds or less.
Wow.
If you feel like you got to keep adding 20, 30 sounds to something for it to be good, that ain't the way.
That's amazing.
Show me something great with 10 sounds or less. Because I can go through my catalog and find you many records that it might have sounded big to you when you listened to it, but it was 10 sounds or less.
10 sounds or less.
And that's one of them right there.
That's crazy. That's crazy, Reg. I knew it, Reg. I knew it.
That's super crazy. All right, Rodney, you worked, man, from Whitney, Michael Jackson down to Sam Smith, SZA. What is the biggest adjustment you had to make to working with artists from back then to now?
I think one of the biggest adjustments now is, I think back then the artists and the producers were more locked in, hip together in the studio. The creative process was always you and that artist. The engineer, you guys were always locked in. It was that type of camaraderie, teamwork. I think the internet has changed a lot of the ways things work now. It's more so, oh, I love this record. Can you send the files?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying, can you send the stems to so they can mix it? I'm like, I was at every mix. Like you couldn't mix the song without me being at it. But nowadays it's like, just send the files, just send the stems. And I think the art form of true A&R is gone. Like I think the modern day A&R doesn't even understand what A&R truly was. I think they don't even know. Right. And I think like I hate to say this, but the A&Rs of today, go get your money because they're giving you your money because you're not doing what
you're not doing what you had to do back in the day.
No, not at all. Like that process is completely different now. Completely.
Amazing.
And I actually think it doesn't benefit the artist either. I think it doesn't benefit the artist in the songs. It doesn't benefit because I think like it doesn't mean that someone can't have a hit, right? But I just think when an artist is in with a producer, a real producer, I'm not talking about someone who's just cooking up a beat and sending a file. I'm talking about a real producer is someone who's going to tell an artist, do it again, do it over. Like I had to work with Whitney Houston and say, do it again, do that again, do that again, do it again. I had to work with Michael. Now do that vocal again, over, do it again. I need more vibrato on that part, Michael. Like that's a producer, knowing what that song's supposed to be and how to get it to life. The way you imagine it, the way you hear it, the way you see it, the way you visualize it. So that's the job of a producer, is to produce, very similar to the director of a film. Like, can you imagine if you told me, we're going to shoot this movie. We shooting this movie on January 30th and I don't got to be there as the director?
Crazy. That's crazy.
You feel me?
Like you said, it hurts the artist because you have a lot of artists out here. They have hit records, they have good records, but they're not developed as an artist itself.
Yeah. Rodney, I can't imagine you in the studio with Michael Jackson telling Michael, "Now, Michael, do that over, Michael. Michael, that ain't right, Mike."
I
I
know
can
you're
imagine.
tired, but
I know,
get back
Mike.
in the booth.
Mike, Rodney, I got it. I can imagine that.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm be honest, I was 21 and Michael respected it. Like I remember one of my first sessions when I was 17, 18 years old was with Patti LaBelle. And having to do that was nerve-wracking because I was a puppy.
Because she was already Patti LaBelle.
Yeah, and I'm like, I gotta tell Patty she's flat. I gotta tell Patty she's sharp on the note. And then I had to do it. And I remember her being like, "It's okay, baby. It's okay. You can produce me." And that kind of showed me like the artists want to be produced. They want to be told, But now artists they just pulling up, turning the auto tune on their favorite number, and they knocking the vocals out and sending files, and you ain't getting that no more. It's just hard, man. And I don't feel as bad for the artists as I feel for the producers. Because I feel like being a producer first, I feel like a lot of young producers don't even have a camaraderie or a relationship with the artist anymore.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. You're right.
Like the artist ain't calling them up at 3 a.m. and be like, "Yo, can you go to the studio and fix this?" Nah, they're not even doing that. Michael was calling me 3 a.m. Can you go to the studio and play something over the phone for me? Like, they're not doing that no more. They just sending files out. They don't even. I'm gonna be honest. Most of these, they don't even know who the artist. They don't even talk to them at all.
Right, they go on YouTube. They'll find an instrumental on YouTube, and they'll burn the YouTube.
They don't know. And if you look at the credits will let you know, right? If you look at the credits, most of the hit songs or most of the songs that are out right now, the credits have 10 to 16 people's names in the credits. What does that tell you? Yeah. You think the artist knows all 10 to 16 of those people that worked on that record?
Not at all.
Nope.
Not at all.
So you still work like you did back in the day. You want to be hands-on with the artist. You want them in the studio. You want to go through everything with the artist now, or do you take advantage of the technology?
I would love that. Like I would love it if that was the case. I'm just telling you the reality. Right. Yeah. That's just not where a lot of artists are in this moment.
Yeah.
I think the big ones are though. I think like Adele is going to be in the studio with a person. I think The Weeknd is going to be in the studio with somebody. SZA is going to be in the studio with you. I think some of those big artists are going to be there, but a lot of them,
no,
they're not.
How do you do a record where you listening to it and you know something's not right on it? Normally, like you said, if the artist is there with you, it's like, hey, let's do this again. How do you fix that if they're not there? You just doing it, sending it back to them.
How do I do it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a conversation that we have, right? Like at the end of the day, it hurts. In the moment, I'm like, man, I wish it was different, but I understand. Like, it's just the times we in, man. Like, it really is. Like, and I also think that's part of my longevity too. Like, part of my longevity has been being able to adjust to the times. Like, you're talking about somebody who was on the tape machine on the reel-to-reels with Whitney, and then on Pro Tools a year later.
Now. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so now every program, from AI to everything. I mean, it's so much has changed since the DAT machine. So much,
man.
And we adjust to it. We have to, or you're gonna be left behind. You're gonna be the ones that you be like, Dad, what happened to them? They don't even do it no more. It's because they haven't made those adjustments.
Yeah. Man, hey, Rodney, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I can talk to you all day, man. Trust me, I can talk to you all day.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You guys, like, seriously, and if I'm ever on that side, I'll let Jen know, and I'll come check y'all out.
Definitely. Now I got one of the most important questions of this whole interview. You ready?
Yes, sir.
What was the best drum machine made out there? Mine's the MPC 3000, right?
Let me be clear though. Let me be very clear.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
I hear young people talk about this all the time. They talk about, yeah, man, I got the MPC 2000. I got the MPC. I'm like, no, you don't. That's not the 3000.
That's not the 3000.
So the MPC 60, the MPC 62, and the 3000. Those are the only MPCs that were made by Roger Lynn. After that, Roger Lynn was not in there, so that you're not giving me the bounce, the shift that was made by Roger Lynn, and that's the end of the story.
That bounce, hey Reg, that bounce, man. I had to get to the bottom of this.
Yes, sir.
Glad you answered that question because all the software. Okay, I got the MPC 3000, I got the X, I got the Live too, but it doesn't hit like that 3000. It don't hit.
But where your gold beat machine at? Where your gold beat machine?
That's the Live. That's at home. But yeah,
the live.
Yeah.
But he know that clock. But he know that clock is different. That clock is not like the Roger Lynn clock.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool, but it ain't that Roger Lynn clock. That MPC 60 and 62 and the 3000 is that Roger Lynn clock. That's the difference.
Man, I can hang up. I'm good now, Reg. I'm good. I just want to get to the bottom of it, man.
Listen, I just learned something I didn't know, and I probably won't know when I get off of here. But
hey, Rodney, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, man. All right,
sir. All right, y'all take care.
All right, bye.
I got
Later.
Nice.